We'll do a short period of meditation and then I will do the guided contemplation. Just a mere sankalpa. We can try to remind ourselves that just for the next 25-30 minutes, we will make a deep effort to abide in that true nature of our being, to realize that essential reality, that supreme Paramatma. We will give our time for that one essential pursuit of life, which if we fulfill, then all other pursuits will naturally be fulfilled. Try to continue to feel that natural breathing now. Let the breath come in of its own and the breath go out of its own. If you want, you can gently repeat the mantra Soham with the inhalation and exhalation, or as per your practice. Allow the mind to study itself with the breath. Come to a point of concentration, vigilance. Just resolve for a few minutes that there is nothing else I want to do, nowhere else I want to go, nothing to think of. Completely letting go of all thoughts of the world. It'll all be there after, and we can go back and get it. So for now, let us just drop all those thoughts, let go of all those worldly concerns, plans, memories, and learn to just be, just stay with your breath right here, right now. Everything happens of its own. There's no need to control it. And we can also slowly notice that with every inhalation breath, every exhalation breath, there is a small gap at the end of them. This gap is the space element of the body. It's a natural resting of the breath in the space element. And also notice that the breath is primarily the air element, Vayu Tattva. But that air element of the body is connected with all other elements, all other Panchamahabhutas. Because of the breath, the earth element in the body, Prithvi Tattva, stays intact, maintained. The water element can function. The flowing of the breath in a subtle way regulates all the liquids, the blood, and all their movements. So just observe that the breath is the essential thing that regulates all other elements of the body: the earth, the water, the fire. As you breathe out, sometimes you can feel that warmness. So that heat is being expelled by that breath. The air and the Akasha Tattva, space, it rests in that space. If there were no space, then the breath cannot rest anywhere. So all these five elements make up this body. And this, the breath holds them, regulates them. So as we bring our attention on the breath, we can feel that it regulates the whole body, the essence of the whole body. So with that inquiry, with that thought, we can just spend another couple of minutes to see and observe how the breath regulates and maintains all other elements in the body. Now we can just try to enter into that contemplation phase where we try to contemplate today on the nature of this body itself. So our body is made up of these five elements. And these five elements are not something that is the essence of our being. That consciousness, through that conscious will, regulates that energy through the breath and holds these five elements together. So these five elements are not really what we take to be us. It is not the real thing. We are born and we die. According to the world, based on the birth of the body and the cessation of this body. So when we come into the sadhana, we have to contemplate on one essential thing, which is, what is this body? We have to also overcome that nature of fear of the death of the body. So today, let us courageously contemplate on what is the reality, and face that deep fear with us, that unexpressed, unconscious fear, which is the fear of death, the death of the body. Bhagavad Gita tells us, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur, dhruvam janma mrityusya cha, tasmad apariharte yarte, natvam shochitumarhasi. When there is birth, death is certain. So a wise person doesn't fear that death because he realizes that the death of the body is not the death of him as the soul, as that Atman. So there is a conscious process of dying, a conscious process of letting go that a sadhaka realizes or tries to realize. This fear of death, overcoming the fact of death, is used as a motivation rather than as a fear. Every sadhaka who has come to that realization has contemplated that before the death of the body, I should realize that truth. This deep sankalpa can lead us to that complete cessation, which Buddha called as nirvana. But in Bhagavad Gita, the most ancient text, the teachings that we know of, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that more than just that, he says, he talks of that state, Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha, Nonam Prapya Vimuyate, Sthitva Mantakalepi, Brahma Nirvana Mrichyati. So the word he defines is Brahma Nirvana, that state where a enlightened soul, having attained, becomes, if one is established in that, even at the point just before death, if one is established in that state, that person attains that real liberation from all the cycles of that. It is not just a nirvana as in cessation of everything. So a nirvana that Buddha talked about is a mere cessation, ending of everything. Brahma Nirvana is that state where it is not just the ending, but that establishing in that one consciousness, the pure state. That state can be attained in life itself. That is the only way we can overcome the fear of death. So mentally, just for a few minutes, feel that you are letting go of everything. That complete extinguishing of all our desires, all our mental pursuits. It is our desires that keeps us bound. Every day end of the day, we naturally are dead to all these desires when we go to sleep. All our plans, all our pursuits, we put aside and let them go. So in meditation also, we have to practice this thing where we consciously let go of the world. We die consciously to the world in our meditations and in our contemplations. Consciously letting go of all our possessions, our families, our all attachments, including holding on to this notion of the body, which is nothing but this five elements held together through a system of the divine. So we die mentally even to this idea of this body. When we look deep within, that sense of I amness remains even when you are asleep, when the idea of the body is not there. When you wake up first thing in the morning, before that kind of thought of the body comes, there is that pure essential thought of I am, consciousness, Paramatman, Atman. So by making that mind free from all these ideas, concepts, we are able to establish the whole of the world. The samsara rises with the notion of the body. The Yoga Vasista tells us, Chitta unmeshabhyam samsarasyo udayakshayo vasana prana samrodha animesham manakuru. As the thought of the body rises, the thought of the world rises, there is that sense of the world rising and falling when the mind rises. But when the mind is free from these thoughts, when the mind is quiet, when the mind is controlled through the breath, through the desires, then we can establish in that beingness, which is free from all the thoughts of the world. The idea of the world, the body, stimulates that mind, and the mind identifies with that. So let us fearlessly die to the idea of the world, die to the idea of the body, and establish in that essential beingness, which is free from all these concepts and thoughts of the world and the body. What is it that stays when there is no world and no mind and no body? Do I need to do something to get to that? Just putting out the world, the idea of the world, the body. If I dismiss that, what remains? What stays? That what stays is the only thing we claim as our own. Everything else doesn't belong to us. It is not us. There is no reality to that. One thing that stays, whether you're conscious of the body or the world or not, a thing that stays is the only reality. So we don't need to consciously push out all our thoughts, desires, everything. By just learning to abide in this state, that pure awareness, then all else will fall away. Everything the mind does to go out will come back within when this realization is strong. Just like how the waves go out, reach out to the shores, but then once they lash against those shores or the rocks, they turn inward. Similarly, when we are seated in that ocean of our beingness, all desires and thoughts of the mind which take us externally outward don't have that energy to really go out of that beingness. They all return within. They all come back within to that ocean. So hold on to this thought or this imagery and rest in that ocean of your beingness. Let the mind do what it wants to do. Let the thoughts come and go by its own. But you remain seated in this ocean of your beingness. That is the Brahma Nirvana, that highest state of our being. That state of our being where there is no birth, no death, only their essential beingness. A true state of Atman, Paramatman. More we learn to abide in that, whether this body comes to an end or not, it has no significance, because then this whole samsara, that nirvana, has been attained. So let us carry this thought throughout the day. Hold on to this one, turning inward, resting in the deep essence of our being, rather than the idea that we are this limited body, we are this limited thoughts chasing petty desires which will never fulfill us. It's only when we turn within to this beingness that we are truly fulfilled. So expressing a sense of gratitude for this knowingness, for this pointing by all the rishis, by the Lord Himself. Say a deep prayer of gratitude, deep sense of prayer for everyone to be free from this fear of death, to realize that beingness, to establish that beingness.